He froze in the doorway, coffee cup trembling in his hand. The manager's voice drifted clearly from behind the counter. "Just deal with the old lady and get her out. These seniors waste our time with their penny pinching and endless questions." James felt his chest tighten. 3 days as a cashier trainee had opened his eyes, but nothing prepared him for hearing his own store policy mocked so cruelly. The elderly woman's face crumpled as she clutched her discount coupon. In that moment, James knew exactly who he needed to be, and it wasn't the undercover CEO anymore. Hi everyone, welcome to Mystic Tales. Today, I'm excited to share a new story with you. James Bennett had been CEO of Value Mart for 5 years. The company had grown, but customer complaints were rising. Something wasn't right. The board suggested he see things from ground level. "I need to understand what's really happening," James told his assistant Marie. "Set up my disguise and background. For the next 2 weeks, I'm James Wilson, new employee." The transformation was simple but effective. Gray added to his hair. Glasses and casual clothes replaced his tailored suits. His own employees wouldn't recognize him. James arrived at store 219 on Monday morning. The location had declining sales but high staff turnover. Manager Patricia Winters greeted him with barely concealed annoyance. "Another new hire? Corporate keeps sending me people with zero experience," she said, looking him up and down. "Follow me." The training was rushed. Patricia pointed at the register. "It's simple. Scan items, take money, next customer. Don't waste time chatting. We have metrics to meet." James nodded, taking mental notes of her cold approach. No mention of customer service or company values. His first day was eye-opening. The checkout lines moved quickly, but not because of efficiency. Staff rushed customers through without offering help or answering questions. During his lunch break, James sat with Sophia, a cashier who'd been there 3 years. "How do you like working here?" he asked. Sophia glanced around before answering. "It used to be better. Now it's all about numbers. Patricia tracks how many customers we serve per hour. Take too long with someone, you get written up." James frowned. "What about helping customers?" "That's not the priority anymore," Sophia sighed. "Last month, I spent time helping an elderly man who was confused about our discount program. Patricia pulled me aside afterward and said, 'This isn't a charity. Keep the line moving.'" As James finished his shift, he watched a young cashier named Tyler being scolded by Patricia. The boy looked close to tears. "What happened there?" James asked Sophia as they clocked out. "Tyler spent too long helping a woman find the right medicine for her husband. Patricia doesn't care about that. She only cares about looking good to corporate." James walked to his car, troubled. This wasn't the company culture he thought he'd built, and he'd only seen day 1. The second day at store 219 brought new insights. James was assigned to stock shelves in the morning. His back ached after an hour of lifting boxes. He never realized how physically demanding these jobs were. "You're too slow," Patricia said, checking her clipboard. "We need these shelves done before noon." "I'm trying my best," James replied, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Try harder. This isn't a gym where you pace yourself." During his break, James met Carlos, a veteran employee who'd worked for Value Mart for 15 years. "How long have you been with the company?" James asked. "Too long," Carlos laughed. "Started when we still cared about customers. Now it's all about cutting costs." "What changed?" "New management came in with their fancy metrics and spreadsheets. They don't see people, just numbers." Carlos showed James a photo on his phone. "My daughter's graduation. I asked for that day off 3 months in advance. Patricia approved it, then canceled 2 days before, said we were understaffed." "That's terrible," James said, feeling a knot in his stomach. "That's life here now." After lunch, James was moved to customer service. An elderly woman approached, her hands shaking slightly as she held a coupon. "Can you help me with this discount? I don't understand the fine print." James smiled. "Of course, let me explain how it works." He spent several minutes helping her understand the coupon policy. The woman thanked him warmly. My husband used to handle these things. Since he passed, everything feels so complicated. You're doing just fine, James reassured her. Take your time. As the woman walked away, Patricia appeared behind the counter. Her face was tight with annoyance. What was that? There's a line forming. She needed help understanding our coupon policy. We don't have time for that. These old people come in with their expired coupons and waste hours of our day. James watched Patricia walk toward the break room, following her at a distance. She was speaking to another manager by the coffee machine. Just deal with the old lady and get her out. These seniors waste our time with their penny pinching and endless questions. The elderly woman was still in earshot, her face falling as she heard the cruel words. James felt his chest tighten with anger and disappointment. This wasn't just poor management, it was the opposite of everything Value Mart was supposed to stand for. James couldn't stay silent. He approached the elderly woman, who was now clutching her purse tightly, eyes downcast. "Ma'am, please wait," he said gently. "Let me help you find everything you need today." "Oh, I don't want to be a bother," she replied softly. "You're not a bother. I'm James, and helping you is exactly why I'm here." Her name was Dorothy. She needed groceries and medication but struggled with the store layout since the recent renovation. James walked with her through each aisle, reaching items on high shelves and explaining the new discount system. Patricia spotted them and marched over. "Wilson, you're needed at Register 4. "I'll be there once I've helped Dorothy complete her shopping," James replied calmly. Patricia's eyes narrowed. That wasn't a suggestion. Now. "Someone will help you finish up," James told Dorothy apologetically. At the register, James processed customers quickly but still made genuine connections. He asked about their day, helped bag their items properly, and thanked each person. During his afternoon break, Tyler, the young cashier, sat beside him. "You're going to get in trouble," Tyler warned. "Patricia has written people up for less." "Why do you stay?" James asked. Tyler sighed. "My mom's sick. I need the health insurance. Most of us have reasons we can't just quit." James nodded. "How long have you worked here?" "Almost 2 years. It wasn't always this bad. Our previous manager, Steve, was great. He retired and Patricia took over 6 months ago." James made a mental note. The timeline matched perfectly with when complaints began increasing. At the end of his shift, James noticed Sophia helping an older gentleman who seemed confused about his receipt. Patricia approached them. "We're closing in 10 minutes. "His total seems wrong," Sophia explained. "I'm double-checking his discounts." "Just void it and rescan if you must, but hurry up," Patricia snapped before walking away. "I'm sorry about that," Sophia told the man. "Let me make sure you got all your discounts." James watched Sophia's patience and care despite Patricia's pressure. These were the employees who truly represented what Value Mart should be. James knew he needed to see more before taking action, but his resolve was strengthening with each interaction. The next morning, James arrived early. He found Carlos struggling to unload a delivery truck alone. "Need a hand?" James asked, rolling up his sleeves. "Aren't you on register today?" "I've got time before my shift." They worked together, moving heavy boxes from the truck to the stockroom. "This should be a 2-person job minimum," James commented, his shoulders aching. Carlos nodded. "Used to be 3 people. Budget cuts." "Has anyone gotten hurt?" "Mike pulled his back last month. Patricia told him to take some pain relievers and finish his shift." James helped until his register shift began. Throughout the day, he observed more concerning behavior. Patricia reprimanded a cashier for allowing a customer to use an expired coupon, though company policy allowed manager discretion for loyal customers. During lunch, James sat with a group of employees. The conversation flowed naturally until Patricia entered the break room. Suddenly, everyone grew quiet. "That says everything," whispered Tyler. After lunch, James was called to Patricia's office. "Your performance isn't meeting expectations," she said, sliding a paper across the desk. "This is your first warning." James reviewed the document. "It says I'm spending too much time with customers." "Our metrics are clear. You're averaging 3 minutes per transaction. The target is 90 seconds. but several customers needed assistance with. "That's not my problem," signed the warning. James signed as James Wilson, his mind racing. The company's official policy emphasized customer satisfaction above speed. Later, James noticed Dorothy had returned. She waved at him with a smile. Patricia intercepted her. "Can I help you find something?" Patricia asked, her voice falsely sweet. "I was hoping to thank that nice young man from yesterday." "He's busy. What do you need?" James moved closer to hear. "My arthritis medicine. Your flyer says it's on sale." Patricia sighed audibly. "That sale ended yesterday." "But the flyer says through Saturday." "Let me see that," Patricia said impatiently, scanning the paper. "Fine. Go to pharmacy." As Dorothy walked away, Patricia muttered to another manager, "These old people can't read simple dates. Waste of my time." James had seen enough. He made a quick call during his break, speaking quietly into his phone. "Marie, I need you to prepare something for tomorrow, and contact the regional manager. I'll need them here at 9 a.m. sharp." James arrived at store 219 the next morning, wearing his usual work clothes. Patricia was already berating the morning staff about sales targets. "Remember, no overrides on expired coupons, no exceptions." At precisely 9 a.m., Marie walked in with the regional manager, Thomas. They spotted James and nodded discreetly. "Patricia, could I speak with you and the morning staff for a moment?" James asked. "We don't have time for meetings. Who authorized this?" "I did," James replied, his voice changing to its natural, more confident tone. Patricia frowned. "Who are you to—" "James Bennett, CEO of Value Mart." The color drained from Patricia's face. Employees exchanged shocked glances. "That's not possible," Patricia stammered. Thomas stepped forward. "I can confirm this is indeed Mr. Bennett." James addressed the gathered employees. "For the past 3 days, I've worked alongside you to understand what's happening in our stores. What I've seen concerns me deeply." He turned to Patricia. "Our company was founded on respect for customers and employees. Somewhere, that message got lost." "I was just following corporate metrics," Patricia defended. "The metrics are tools, not excuses to mistreat people," James replied. "I heard you mock an elderly customer. I saw you deny breaks. I experienced your disregard for safety protocols." James turned back to the staff. "To everyone who maintained their compassion despite pressure to do otherwise, thank you. You represent the true values of this company." He nodded to Thomas. "Effective immediately, Patricia is being removed from her position. We'll conduct a proper review of her management practices." Patricia began to protest, but Thomas guided her toward the office. "Carlos, your dedication for 15 years deserves recognition. I'd like to offer you the position of interim manager while we search for a permanent replacement." Carlos looked stunned. "Are you serious?" "Completely, and my first directive is to restore proper staffing levels for truck deliveries." James turned to Sophia. "Your patience with customers exemplifies our values. Would you consider a customer service training role?" Tears welled in Sophia's eyes. "I would love that opportunity." James addressed everyone again. "I'm implementing immediate changes. Breaks will be properly scheduled. The transaction time metric is suspended pending review. And we're reinstating the customer satisfaction bonus program." As if on cue, Dorothy entered the store. James walked over to greet her. "James, you look different today." "I am different today, Dorothy, and I hope your experience here will be different too. Would you allow me to help you shop once more?" As they walked through the store, employees watched with new hope. Things were about to change at Value Mart, starting with store number 219. Loved this story? Tap that like button and subscribe to Mystic Tales for more. Let us know how this story made you feel with a single word in the comments.